You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
3, 2, 1, and hello, you're listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Dun, dun, dun.
James Haskell's new girlfriend
Who is
exposed.
she? Why is that? Why was that an article? That was the first thing. I Googled rugby news,
Yeah,
and that was the first thing that came up.
it's been a slow week.
Who's his girlfriend?
Yeah, I've got Louis
Who's James
Rezamet news.
Haskell? This will be like, what the fuck? Like, is he a DJ now? Like, what does he do?
He's a DJ with a girlfriend.
I bet you he's like, during the days he goes back to his old like high school and his bullies kids, shoves them in lockers, and then goes and DJs, and then tells the girls there that he's DJing.
Tells him his lifting stats.
Yeah, I'm lifting so big, I'm DJing this weekend at the club. Like,
Gives him tickets.
he gives me hardcore high school bully vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the way he talks, he's almost like a character from a movie.
he's the banter king.
Yeah. Hey, Peter Parker, you know, it's the guy, the Venom guy that comes in the movie.
Beats up Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Uh,
How you doing, Frank? Welcome to the podcast.
What do you mean welcome?
Welcome.
I'm the other part of it. I'm fine.
Welcome to the Steve Monteith Rugby podcast.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good.
No news.
Are you sore from our rugby workout training thing on the weekend? Started up.
You made it sound like you gave me a hand job.
Why were you there?
Why was I not there?
Why were you in the fitness, the rugby fitness?
To increase my fitness.
Are you gonna play?
No.
You gonna strap up the old boots?
But they're not that old. I played last season.
Did you?
With
many
you.
games?
On the same field as you.
How many games? Oh, okay. I remember you playing Grand Prairie.
I played 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I broke my finger.
Are you excited for the season then? It's coming up around the corner.
Yeah. Well, if you're anywhere but where we live, you're mid-season right now. But yeah, where we are, we're getting ready for our pre-season training, shedding some fat. It's a good time to start pre-season, actually, isn't it? Like right after Christmas when you got a few extra pounds.
Yeah, and
And it
yeah, because
feels
there's nothing
good.
really going on. It's still cold.
Oh, it's freezing.
So you got nothing to do to like lift iron.
Minus
Get
20,
swole.
pitch black. May as well, do some work in the darkness so we emerge in the summer like butterflies. But yeah, it's good. But I did watch a lot more rugby this weekend than I did last weekend, so I feel a lot more prepared to talk about rugby.
I unfortunately didn't.
Oh, switch places. I actually feel like when we did that list last week, I didn't feel like I did it justice. Like I look back at my list, my team of the year, and I have regrets. I think all the people I mentioned were very good rugby players, but I just didn't research
I
it
love
enough.
my list. My list was perfect.
You named some fucking... I would need to talk to you about that. Like, we need to talk about the fact that you didn't read the brief.
It was
Picking
perfect.
Newcastle Falcons flankers in a World Rugby team of the
man.
year.
He's underrated.
Fine. Next year,
I
though,
totally picked him to troll you.
it didn't work. Well, it didn't work last week. Now it's sunk in. I'm like, wait the fuck? What are you talking about?
I can't even remember his name.
Tom Gordon, how dare
Tom
you?
Gordon. Yeah, there you go. See,
Fuck's sake, Steve. Take
you
it
know
seriously.
about him. He's pretty famous.
Well, I do now. I have to Google him.
No, I couldn't. I had the training on Saturday right during the middle height of all the games, and then afterwards I do stuff. And then
Yeah.
on Sunday I had to go to church.
Yeah, you did, eh?
I had to go to a baptism.
Did you confess?
No, I thought I could sit in the corner. I was like, okay, when I get in here, I'll just sit in the corner, close my eyes, and I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No?
You cannot do that. They're constantly making you sit down and stand up.
That's how they keep you awake. Get you
you're
up,
like,
sing a
please
song.
stand, please sit, please stand. And I swear, like, this guy's doing this on purpose to make sure
People-
we're awake.
Probably.
Because I can't hide. I can't mentally. I couldn't. So I had to like dig deep mentally to like. I was suffering a little bit. I was just like, oh my god, how long is this going to be? Like, is this going to be forever? Will I ever get out of here?
Next time you go, take some crutches.
No,
And then no one's going to force you. Everyone's going to feel really weird if they ask you to stand up and you'll be like, can't.
Yeah, because I thought I could, and then I was kind of, the pews are kind of wide, so I couldn't go on my phone because everyone was going to be looking at me. So then I went on to my watch. I was like, maybe there's something on my watch.
Maybe there's some reels on my
And then I'm scrolling.
on my Casio digital watch.
I'm scrolling on my watch. I'm like, fuck. I wish I would have like downloaded a game on here. I'll take Snake, anything, just right now. Just give me something.
Okay, see if there's a Sudoku app for your watch next time you go to a baptism.
Yeah, next time I gotta be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you want
rugby
to start? Let's get into some rugby. Do you want to talk about some rugby news? I got a news here article. Rugby paired accused of murdering baby girl paired at Warwick
no, let's
Crown
not
Court.
talk about that.
I read the article.
Yeah, is it good? Good. That's the wrong word.
Well, they mentioned right here the first word in the article is rugby paired.
Okay, like a couple,
Yeah.
a husband and wife who both
Yeah.
play rugby.
Now, what does it have to do with the murder?
They kicked the baby.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing. There's just rugby, and then at the last paragraph, they're both from rugby. Why would you? Why?
We're a global community, Steve. You can walk into any club in the world and get a welcome. But also, if you murder a baby, you make the news of the rugby.
Like, I can't understand why rugby was used in this article, because it was one of the other things that came up top.
Jeez, I don't want to talk about that. That's horrible.
Like, no, we're not going to talk about it.
Let's talk about something worse. The Welsh squad.
The Welsh squad.
The Welsh squad.
Sure, you don't want to talk about the murder?
No, I'm good.
We can turn this into
I'm
a crime,
used to dark subjects.
crime podcast.
True crime of rugby. True crime.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got lots of people. We can go on, but if you want to get into true crime and rugby, we got a lot.
Yeah, we do. Even in the last year, there's been some shocking events.
Yeah.
That's not why we do this,
Adam
Steve.
Hastings got his fucking license banned for too many speeding tickets.
I think Adam Jones did as well. He got his license.
Adam Hastings, right? That's,
Adam Hastings,
yeah.
a Scottish player, yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Jones, the former Welsh prop, also lost his driver's license for being a naughty boy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so.
the best is the speeding ticket stuff. It's like, you got too many. Give us your license.
Do they not do that in Canada?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
But it's rare,
Right.
right? It's more common for someone to get a DUI.
It's actually quite common more common in the UK because you only need to like get caught speeding 3 times, I think. Then they'll take your license off you for a year or something like that. I haven't lived there in 10 years, but I seem to remember it was pretty.
They just care about life more over there.
Yeah, there's not as much freedom, but there's a lot less accidents.
But anyways, let's talk about the Welsh squad.
Now I don't want to.
The Welsh boys.
Okay, so
I want your thoughts.
I'm going to give you some thoughts. Warren Gatland was asked on Scrum 5, the BBC Sports Rugby podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny. Someone asked, I think it was Ross Harris asked him, can you win the Six Nations? No coach in the history of the Six Nations is going to say no, obviously. So I don't expect him to say no, right? But the pause between being asked and answering, like, oh, it was cringy.
Can you win the Six Nations?
And he had to go, ugh. Like you can see the gears grinding in his brain, and one of those gears was like, never tell a lie. But eventually he said, yeah, we can win it.
He had to dig deep.
He had to win it.
He's
yeah.
like, here I go. Oh, that's awful.
You know, in the days when Wales were decent, and even when we weren't that good, you could put a tenner on Wales to win a Grand Slam. And even when we weren't playing well, like we could win a Six Nations, right? Just because we had strong players, belief, really cohesive squad.
You talked to Warren Gatland in 2019.
Yeah.
You look him in the face. You look him right in the eyes.
Yeah.
And you say, can Wales win the Rugby World Cup?
Yeah.
Boom. He would say yes.
Oh, yeah.
He would 100% believe he could.
Because we nearly did. I mean, we were 3 points away from beating South Africa in a semi-final. We would have beaten England in a final. Say what you want. We would have beaten England in a final.
That was the perfect storm for Wales that year.
Yeah.
It just had to get past South Africa.
Yeah, yeah. The pure, like, grindy hatred would have seen us through that final. We could have had the janitor playing, you know? But now, like, that's how far we've fallen, that we've eroded our bedrock, right? Like, there's no self-belief there anymore. And he knows that. Yeah,
when the coach, he's already gearing up for disappointment.
Yeah, and he's self-aware enough. He talked about that, right? He talked about the fact that it's his job to make the team believe that they can win.
How is this squad compared to the November squad?
Another thing about Gatland is he always pisses people off with his selections. In fact, name a team that the fans aren't losing their mind about. Like England always have the same problem. Everyone's always going, oh, Zach Mercer, including me, right? I'm always like, where is Zach Mercer?
I feel like when it comes to the England team, there's like a global consensus on who should be in the team, and then it's like Borthwick. But it's not like there's never like Borthwick doesn't pick a team, and then the majority of the people are like, yeah, that's the team to go with.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a handful of players where everyone unanimously is saying, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, why isn't this guy in here?
Yeah. Now I say it is more of an England and Wales thing, because I think about Ireland, like you pick Leinster and you'll be fine, because that is this is a tried and tested squad. Scotland haven't got the depth to make too many controversial calls, you know. Italy, same problem, not enough depth to kind of piss too many people off. And I think with France, they probably have some headaches, but the like their X Factor players, like no one's arguing if you pick Dupont, no one's arguing if you pick Entermac, etc. You know, there's so many guys who pick themselves. So with Wales, I think we're still in a situation where there's so many unknowns. The big problem for us is we have a lot of players in England who are actually on really good form. So you know, to get into it a bit, the players who are omitted that are shocking, Max Llewellyn of Gloucester, who could be one of the best centres in the Prem at the minute. He omitted Rio Dyer. Yeah, his form fell off a bit, and he can't pass from his left hand, and it's kind of funny to watch him try. But he's not like, he's still a really good winger. Do you know what I mean? And he's like played enough games for Wales now where you think, let's have some consistency and give him his chances, you know? And the other omissions, who else did he not pick? I think that's the two that like
obviously Rhys Carey.
Rhys Carey, yeah.
It's Rhys Carey, yeah.
He's done. He's done. I like Rhys Carey.
He's like Saracens' best prop.
He got fat shamed by Gatland, and he's never coming back, and that's the end of the story, right? Like, and that was a shitty situation, and I want him back, but I'm not surprised he's not in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Sam Parry is back after he had a fallout with Gatland, refused to carry a tackle bag, and then Gatland said something like, I don't hold a grudge. I've read his autobiography. He holds a fucking grudge. He holds some fucking grudges. So we're just desperate for hookers, right? So because we're missing Dewi Lake, who is one of the only Welsh guys you'd actually take on a Lions tour. So
he's injured right now.
Yeah, he's injured. It's a big loss. Ryan Elias, nobody likes him, but you know he's played enough Wales games. You pick him because we haven't got any many hookers. So Sam Parry comes back in. Sam Costello got injured against Gloucester.
So who's the 10?
This is actually the good news. So Dan Edwards of the Ospreys is actually fucking good, right? And it's strange.
Has he played for Wales?
No, he's uncapped.
Oh.
But here's the crazy thing. He didn't pick Anscombe, which is another shock omission.
Anscombe's injured, isn't he?
He's injured, but it's not a long-term thing, and he could have put him in the squad.
Every time he plays, he goes off injured.
He's never not injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's like Reece Patchell. He's made of glass. Like, he lasts 20 minutes, and they're both good. But
he's like Lee Halfpenny.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Lee Halfpenny's back. I'm like, guarantee he's going to get injured in warm-up. He got injured in warm-up. Like, how many times? There must be a handful of times where I'm watching, he's on the game sheet.
Yeah.
He's on the team sheet.
Yeah.
And then during warm-up, he's fucking toast. Yeah. He's gone.
That's definitely a later in career thing.
Yes.
But, definitely last couple of years. We should make a World 15 of made of glass dudes featuring Manu Tuolangi as captain. But yeah, other than that, it's a bit of a weird squad. And I saw on Reddit a list of injured and unselected Welsh players, and some guys were like, that would probably beat the selected team. It's not, it's a bit dramatic, but they're still pretty good, So
what's going on there?
It's the 25 cap eligibility rule is playing into it. The guys playing in England, even though they're eligible, they just don't get a look in because we should be picking players who play at home, but it is hamstringing us, actually. We need to accept we're more where Scotland are, right? Like, a lot of our guys who play not in Wales are playing really good, and that's why they left Wales, because they get paid more money because they're in demand. And Scotland recognise that, so they pick guys like Finn Russell. Why would you not pick Finn Russell, right? Why would you not pick Max Llewellyn, right? Guys that look at Harlequins now, like, we've got 110 in the squad, Dan Edwards, who's uncapped. That's the only 10 in the squad. There are no others. So you look at Jared Evans at Harlequins, who's basically keeping Marcus Smith out of his jersey in some games. Callum Sheedy came back home, but he's not on form.
Oh, I was so excited.
Yeah,
about
me too,
that.
man. I was. Him and Tynus de Beer, like, just like high-fiving each other, Top Gun high five as they sub off. But yeah, no, it's not happening. So yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say really. Like it's a pretty good squad, but there's a lot of factors, and some of them I agree with, some of them are out of our control, some of them are just Gatland being weird. But yeah, there's some strange selections in there.
I really wanted tonight when we were recording the podcast to go over all the squads,
Yeah,
but Wales were like the only one to announce theirs.
yeah.
This is a team. Thanks.
Yeah, he loves
Where's
a good.
everyone else?
He loves a pump and dump.
What are these other guys waiting for? They already know.
They know.
Like, what were they waiting? They're probably waiting for these games to end.
Yeah, Champions Cup rounds to see who's injured, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I was just sad.
yeah. We didn't even pick a big squad either. I think it was only like 30 or something.
I wonder how much pressure Gatland gets from the higher ups when he's picking his team.
I don't think he gets any,
You
but
think he's just free ride?
yeah, 100%.
Pick who you want
100%. But I don't
within
think
these guidelines.
I think but I do think they've told him you need to win a minimum of 2 games, or we're going to find another coach. That's what I think.
That's just pure speculation.
Yes, it is pure speculation, but it's based on the fact that Abby Tierney, our chief CEO, said in an interview on Scrum 5 recently, I had a conversation with him, and we expect you to achieve something in the Six Nations. She didn't say exactly what, but she made it quite clear that if he doesn't perform in the Six Nations, he's gone.
I feel like a coaching change is needed so much just to bring some new life.
Yeah,
Not that Gatland's a bad coach.
yeah.
Just to switch, I think it's needed so much. Like, if he does achieve something in the Six Nations, it might actually be a bad thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Like,
yeah,
if
short
they
of-
have a huge win, you're like, yeah, okay, he's staying.
Yeah.
It's like, do we really want that?
We're
Is
a-
that what we really
We're
want?
a bunch of morons in Wales, though. All he's got to do is beat England, and we'll be like, come back, brother. Welcome home.
Oh, yeah. Everything will be last year.
Everything's forgiven.
The last, 12 games will be completely forgotten.
Yeah, everything will be forgotten. And we could lose another 12 games.
Yeah,
But remember when we beat England that one time? Like,
That's how Gregor Townsend keeps his job.
yeah. I
His
would love
only,
it. I would love it.
That's his performance
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah.
He beat England, and we'll write you down for another 3
Yeah,
years.
100%.
We'll give you a fucking raise.
You know when you have a coaching conversation at work and your supervisor comes in, like all he does is come in, is like, hey Gregor, did you beat England? And you go, yes I did. And then done. Big old check.
Hand over the contract.
Get back in there, bud.
Get back in there.
Yeah.
You've done us proud.
Outperformed expectations.
That is exactly
Yeah.
because that really does seem like that's Scotland's only
Yeah.
goal.
There is some truth, a bit like being a bit serious. Like there is some truth to momentum. Like I know people talk about it a lot. If we beat France at home, we've basically beaten the team I think are going to win the Six Nations at home. And then momentum, like if you beat France at home, like you probably start thinking, well, we could probably beat anyone then. And that's true in rugby, right? Depending, there's a relativity there.
Oh, hands down, if Wales beat France at home,
Yeah.
they can beat anyone.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. And yeah, they're not going to be close games, but that self-belief is like, it's fucking massive in rugby, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's such a momentum game. So I don't think we'll beat France at home, but if we do, we could win a Grand Slam. That sounds a bit mental. Then the swings of being a Welsh fan, man. Like last week you asked me, how does it feel to be Welsh? And I'm crying in a dark room for 6 months. And then you give me a tiniest glimmer of hope and I'm like, World Cup. Let's go.
We're doing it.
Yeah, it's
2
easy.
years away.
Easy.
We are
Yeah,
doing it.
Yeah. So
Everything's happening this year.
yeah. Other than that, Welsh squad, I don't know, a bit weird basically, but still doesn't feel like a
Some
strong
old boys
team.
are back.
Falatau's back. Josh Adams back.
Falatau's back. Everything's gonna be okay now.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Our front row looks weak, compared to the days of old. Got a guy called Will Griff John from Sale Sharks who's played 2 or 3 times for Sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. But Nicky Smith is also in the squad, which is class because he might be one of the best props in the Gallagher Prem right now.
Who are you most excited about?
Dan Edwards, actually, our 10. Yeah, because he's that good. Like, yeah, he's the guy. I'm really excited to see him. And Gatland doesn't pick Ospreys guys. Doesn't like him. And what Toby Booth did was he had a bunch of young players like Jack Morgan, like Dewi Lake, like Dan Edwards. He's given them this sense of belief that no other Welsh player has. And now when you watch the Ospreys play, they play with like confidence and belief. And he has that like cocky edge to him, Dan Edwards, right? He just slots drop goals against the Stormers, to win the game. Like he's got that X factor. But he'll probably get injured. So, that's just how it goes in Wales.
What else do you got on the list there of topics?
Mac Hansen.
Mac Hansen.
Lead the charge. Your turn.
Mac Hansen.
Mac Hansen.
You
Banned
got a
for...
slap on the wrist there.
There's more than a slap.
He got a 3-week ban
This was like a punch in the eye.
for expressing his feelings about the reffing in the URC.
Did you watch the rant?
I saw it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
What he said, it was
Yeah.
pretty vanilla.
You think so?
He didn't. Okay, I'm not justifying what he did.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme, like as a fan,
Mm.
I'm not like moved by it or shocked by it.
Mm.
He's a little frustrated. He just got out of a game.
Yeah.
It was unprofessional, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really care. The league has to punish him for this
Yeah.
because you can't have players just like saying this kind of stuff, because then it leads the fans, the people that give you money, to start believing in like that there's some kind of conspiracy going on, and right, like, you can't like have doubt in the league, and if the players are doubting the league publicly,
Yeah.
it's a bad look,
It is a bad look.
right?
He's saying what we're all thinking, though. Come on.
Do you honestly think there's some sort of like reffing favoritism?
Not consciously.
Have you ever met a ref?
Yeah.
They're like, refs are like in a cult. They're like equal to Jehovah Witness. Like they are sold. Like they're not. Their team is the refs. They're like
Yeah, they do close ranks, don't they?
100%. Like, have you
Yeah.
ever like do you know a police officer?
Yeah.
And then when you see like like if you're a friend with a police officer and you see something on the news,
Yeah.
like a cop just does this awful thing,
Yeah.
right? And then you talk to them about it, they'll be like, well, you
don't know how hard it is out there.
Yeah, they'll start making
You don't know
excuses.
the pressure we're under.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
yeah. So like that's exactly like refs are exactly like that.
They are actually.
Yeah, they will. They're not. They're in their own world.
I don't think.
They're playing. They're playing a game against themselves. Like
Yeah.
that's their enemy. Is
Yeah.
their mind.
I don't think they're biased. I don't think any ref ever goes out there and thinks, I want this team to win over that team.
That's what makes Matt Hansen what he said like bullshit.
I agree with you. I think people should be reprimanded for saying those kind of things. But if you contrast it to a dangerous on-field action, like someone punching somebody or saying something really fucked up that warrants a 6 to 8 week ban, him having a rant after the game about he's frustrated about the standard of refereeing isn't in the same fucking league to me as violent on-field conduct. So 6 weeks to 3 weeks, I give him a week. I'd say a week ban. And because that's all you need to go.
He's got to do like
gonna
12 different things. He's got to do he's got to take a course.
Yeah.
He's got to do an apology. I think he has to even do a presentation.
Yeah.
Like he has to do a bunch of things to get it from 6 weeks to 3 weeks.
Yeah. He's got to do like community
There's
service and an orange
list.
jumpsuit.
There's a laundry list.
Yeah, it did seem like egregious. And I get it from their point of view, right? It's like, okay, this is a really shit analogy. I'm not even going to make it. Never mind. It's going to confuse and upset people. But like,
oh, that's part of like, let's do that.
Okay, so you know this guy Luigi Mangianoni who shot that CEO.
Oh, you're getting real dark deep. I didn't know you were gonna go that far.
Yeah, exactly. let me check my stupid brain. I don't even want to go there with a 10-foot pole.
Let's not go there. I didn't know you were gonna go there.
Yeah, fucking don't egg me on then. It wasn't even what you're thinking either. It wasn't even what you're thinking.
Yeah, okay.
All I'm saying is, if there's an institution that needs to make an example, you
murder a CEO.
Jesus
What?
Christ. No.
Oh, sorry.
For the record, murdering people's fucked up, right?
Okay.
I don't want people to murder
Unless
fucking
it's a
anybody.
CEO,
No,
where are you
fucking
going
don't
with this?
fucking
Okay.
murder people.
Okay.
Yeah,
But if it's
nice
a CEO.
motive, still murder, right? Point
Winking.
is, yeah.
winking at
Don't
you.
don't say the wink.
Oh, sorry.
Don't say the wink.
Sorry.
Fuck. Point is like, I understand it's a shit analogy, like I said, but like if an institution has to protect itself, it has to come down hard on. It has to make an example, I guess. Like,
Yeah, you gotta. Like I said, you have to keep the image of the league.
Yeah.
Is like together, like they got their shit together. Because if you have players speaking out like that all the time,
Yeah.
the fans will start having doubt in the league,
Yeah.
and you don't want that you don't want that for your product.
We all watched that Rugby Pass documentary where the referees were getting abused, and it was like I'm like I've got a jokey tone, but it was actually fucked up. But like it did actually emotionally move me to be like, let's think about that. They did a live aid for refs basically, and it fucking worked, right? Like I was like, oh yeah, shit. People have had to resign over this. People's children and wives have been like threatened with violence in private messages. That's fucking horrible, right? So yeah, we do need to make sure like the referees are protected. Because another thing is, who the fuck wants to be a referee? right? We already don't have enough good referees because who the fuck wants abuse all the time?
Yeah, because when you see these guys, they're like obsessed with having such a good performance.
Yeah.
Making the right calls.
Yeah.
They're like they're doing the oddest things to practice.
Yeah.
They're like
it's a lonely
obsession-
job, right?
The obsession they have with putting out a good game.
Yeah.
Is huge.
It is huge.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're constantly in competition with their peers.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
And they also have to have their peers back. It's a weird situation,
so
right?
you have to have a good enough game where you're going to get chosen again.
Yeah.
And you want to impress the other refs.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you have a bad game, that guy you really respect is taking your job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I when you said they are like police and that they close, it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, imagine you get picked to referee the World Cup final. You don't get to lift the World Cup and say, "Look what I won." The best outcome is nobody talks about you. Nobody says a word about you. That is the best thing that could happen on that day, right? And someone a week later goes, "Oh, he put in a good performance as a ref."
You know what they should do when Mac Hansen had that rant?
Yeah.
During the press conference,
make him watch that documentary.
No, make the ref come out with a mic. Well, like WWE, like wrestling style. Well, actually, Mac, and then just start spitting. Like, give him a chance to rebuttal.
Make him rap battle a ref.
Yeah, just like make him have, give the ref a chance. The ref's not gonna come on the mic after the game.
No,
and spill his piece.
They don't have, and that's the thing. They're not allowed to defend themselves, are they? Because they have to be squeaky clean, say the right thing all the time. So a ref isn't going to come out on social media and be like, "Actually, mate, this is what it's like," because they'll lose their fucking job if they do shit like that, right?
And also, the league wants to protect like quality refs.
They do.
If refs are getting attacked all the time and they're quitting,
Yeah.
like good refs, you don't want that. Then you're gonna lead you to, if they have a high turnover,
Yeah.
you're gonna have shittier rugby.
Yeah. Something that happened in rugby here this summer. There's a young guy I know who started reffing, and he reffed a lot of games, and he's a young guy, like he's a teenager, right? He reffed a lot of games, and he's brand new, and he's not the best ref because he's still learning.
Mm-hmm.
And you had groups of grown men and women, because he reffed men and women's games, abusing him, straight up abusing him, right? And like the look on his face after some of those games, I'm thinking, if you stay, like, good for you, but I fucking wouldn't. Why would you put up with that, right? You're trying your best.
Yeah, like people have a hard time realizing that like these refs, they're not rugby players.
No.
Like you're swearing, hitting, punching each other on the field, whatever. Yeah.
It's a high energy, violent game.
You're being violent towards the other team.
Yeah.
And you get kind of confused that the ref is not one of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not one of those people. Like they're not rugby players.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing a job. That this is something that they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
See, and thankfully, because especially here, at grassroots level, these guys are really doing it for the love of the game.
Because they're not getting paid a lot.
No.
Like not even a lot.
$20 a game.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
So like you need to like be thankful that person's willing to take their time to do this for you. So.
And maybe they made a couple of wrong decisions, but this is amateur rugby. You play because you're hopefully enjoying it. I get it. It's competitive.
My favorite ref in Edmonton, he misses everything. He's like the worst ref.
But he's a good guy.
He's a good dude though. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But I really like him, but he like sometimes he'll make a bunch of calls I hate.
Yeah.
And but without him there's no game.
No. And I know who you're talking about, and I like him.
Mac Hansen. The thing is, I know you're upset with Leinster, but you need to be a better cheater. Hands down. Cheating in rugby is
encouraged.
It's encouraged.
In all but words, right?
It's part of the game. The players are constantly trying to get the most they can out of the rules.
Yeah, often by reading the ref.
Yes.
What can I get away with this ref?
Like the notorious, the All Blacks are just notorious for are being known, not being known, but being called cheaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like we always bitch about how the refs don't call them. They don't get enough calls.
Yeah.
It's not the refs are being biased.
Yeah.
They're just fucking really good.
Yeah.
At playing at the edge of the rules of rugby.
And if you notice when the All Blacks don't play well, watch people comment on their discipline, right? Because you're either really undisciplined or you're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, and with the like the TMO, and now there's like so many more eyes on the game. Like the All Blacks are getting called more because they can't do the hidden dark art shit anymore.
Yeah.
As much. Yeah.
But just the same as everyone else, I think.
But they're still super good at it.
Yeah,
and Leinster, just like their players are good at getting away with shit.
Oh, they lay all over that ruck. So does everyone else. They just do it better, right?
They even know when it's properly time to take a penalty. You know what? I'm just going to do this because I'm going to stop this play.
Yeah. I've actually seen players in interviews recently talking about when they would prefer to take a penalty over another situation, right? I actually thought this conversation was going to be different. I thought we were both going to come down on the other side and be like, speak up for the working man who's getting shafted by the moneybags Leinster, and speak up for the sweet boys in Galway who never get the rub of the green. Because what I was going to say is, I don't think there's genuine conscious bias in referees. I don't think any ref goes out there and thinks, I'm going to help this team win. But if you're at the Aviva Stadium, and there's 80,000 Leinster fans screaming for whatever, it does sway you a bit, right? And I've commented on this a lot. The standard of reffing in the URC is just not as good as it is in the Gallagher Prem and the French leagues. It's just not as good. That's the truth, right? And we need better quality refs. And kind of counterintuitively, the way to get that is stop fucking being dickheads to them. You have to be like encouraging, and
it takes time to be a good ref.
It does take a long time. All the best refs are close to retirement. Like, when Wayne Barnes was coming to the end of his professional career, he was old. Same with Nigel Owens. He was at his peak a year or two before he retired. So yeah, it does.
I thought I saw an article that the ref that Matt Hansen was talking about, he's quitting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So I don't know why.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think the article said why, but there was something that said he was leaving.
Is it Bisbee? It's something Bisbee, right? Yeah.
So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
I think they would have done what they did either way, but that just makes it worse, doesn't it? But yeah, it's not that I do kind of agree with what he says. He's just got to learn that there's a right way to say those kind of things, right? Because watch the amount of coaches after a game who'll say things like, I wasn't happy with X, Y, and Z. There's a way to say it, isn't there? There's a way to bring it up, make people aware that you're not happy with the decision without going on a minute-long rant.
I feel like it's easy for me to come to this conclusion because I understand the culture of refs.
Yeah.
Like who these people are. So I understand it.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no conspiracy to favor big clubs.
No, there isn't. No, I never believed that.
Now, when it comes to disciplinary hearings with players, there is a big, I think there's a discrepancy there.
That's what I'm talking about.
When larger players, when big star players go to those hearings,
yeah,
some of their that's questionable.
The amount of high tackles Owen Farrell got away with was that verged on conspiracy. It wasn't a conspiracy, but it got to the point where I was like, this got to be a joke. The amount of no-arm shoulder bangers he put in with zero consequence, right? I was just like, what is happening? And
then there was that one game. There was that one game that was being wrapped. That was the Fiji. Who was it? Fiji and who?
Oh, it was Fiji and Wales, wasn't it?
And then the Fiji player, the Wales guy, got away with it.
It was exactly the same thing. One was a red, one was a yellow.
Yeah, I was like, what?
We just witnessed a racism, didn't we?
Was that a racism? Did we see this?
We saw it live. Yeah, it was basically the same movement, wasn't it?
But Matt Hansen's got 3-week ban. I don't think he's not going to miss any Six Nations.
No.
So
no, I guess not.
This next time, and it's players get emotional.
Yeah.
I've had games where I was so mad I wanted to walk off the pitch.
I've seen you do that. I've literally seen this season you did that.
I did do that actually. I got so fired up. I was so mad at the call. I just left the game. I don't even want to play in this game anymore.
Got in your car.
Yeah. I just walked off.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to play. Someone else go on.
Yeah.
I'm because you're not thinking straight.
Yeah. Rugby is one of those games as well where it's like compound errors. So if you feel like a decision went against you, another decision will go against you pretty soon after that because you're pissed off, and it just gets worse. It's one of those sports where if you don't control your temper, you've lost, right? Because it just gets worse and worse and worse. And the referee has got his eye on you because he thinks you did something wrong. So if you act like a prick, it's going to get worse, right?
I don't know if there's any debriefing, when Matt Hansen goes out to those press conferences, when those players go out there, there's no one there but okay.
Yeah.
they're gonna ask you this. Like, there's no one briefing them beforehand.
Well, I think they have media training, but not like every single game, right? Like they
There
probably
should
have
be
a
someone
meeting
there to be
at
like,
the
"Hey,
start of the season, being like, if you say
you
this,
good?"
this is what's going to happen to you, right? But like, you know, a lot of people say things like the rugby guys are like they're kind of boring because they're so media trained, and I agree with that. But I don't mean it in the sense that they should start slagging people off. I mean, you can talk about your Lego collection instead of the result of the game if you want for a laugh, you know. Doesn't mean like have a go at people. Having said all that, like I don't disagree with everything he said, and I sympathize with him. Not having I actually don't feel any like animosity to him. I think fair enough, he's pissed off and he wanted to say something. It's just one of those situations where it's like, now you kind of have to make an example here, don't you? You have to go like, yeah, we need to do something because, like you said, otherwise all the fans are going to think that's true, you know.
Especially in a time like now, when someone with any kind of like influence, like a player, like anyone famous says something, there's just an army of people behind them that will just take them word for word for whatever they say.
There's like 1,000 anonymous lunatics just backing you up.
There's ref conspiracy. Like that's it. That's all they need. They don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you want to you want to keep that kind of stuff in a tight box. So you don't want that. Yeah.
If a K-pop band came out and criticized rugby referees, they wouldn't get a ban. K-pop fans on Twitter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
They would just, they would crucify anyone who dared give a K-pop band a rugby ban. That's what would happen. Anyway, Mac Hansen, naughty boy. Naughty boy.
What else do you got going on there? What else happened in the rugby world?
We're going to talk about...
This is the Frank show today. You got it all...
I was hoping you would take the fucking reins.
You got it all figured out.
Well, I was going to talk about Wales.
I always take the reins.
No, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I was hoping your turn was Mac Hansen, so now it's your turn again to talk about Iona Meyer.
You brought up you wanted to talk about her.
Yeah, but you're going to do it. You're going to do the talking. I'm just setting you up. I'm teeing you up. Iona Meyer, go.
Well, she had her first start for Bristol Bears.
She did. Played well.
Sold a lot of tickets.
That's what we're going to talk about.
She's a ticket seller.
Ticket seller.
She's a ticket seller on TikTok.
Tickets on TikTok. Anyone want to come say Bristol?
I've had people ask me because she shows up so much on social media.
Yeah. And
people know that I'm a rugby guy. I've had people text me like, "Who is this girl? Like, who is she? Like, why does she keep popping up on my news feed?"
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't really have that much answers. I was like, "She's an Olympian."
Yeah.
Is she good at rugby? I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's an Olympian.
She's big and fucking strong.
What is she? Did the USA win bronze? I think she's a bronze medalist.
I can't remember. Didn't they? I thought they went gold.
No,
I can't remember. I don't like sevens.
No, I don't like. I don't pay attention to sevens at all either.
No.
So people were asking me about her, and I don't like. I just not a sevens guy.
Yeah,
it already pisses me off that they mix the sevens with the rugby awards.
Oh, me
and
too.
Shit.
A lot of YouTubers and stuff I like do that. They'll include sevens players in their awards. I'm like, it's a different game. Like, and you're like, they've just deliberately set up sevens as a way to lure people into regular rugby. That's fine. But I get the same thing. I'll get people saying to me, "Oh, I watched the sevens in the Olympics. What does this mean?" And I'm like, just shut the fuck up. It's gross sevens. It's nearly as bad as league. Like, leave me alone. But that, I'm gatekeeping rugby, aren't I? And I shouldn't be. But
I think there was a little bit of drama when she joined Bristol Bears.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were just giving her a shot because of her 3.3 million followers.
Yeah.
But she's also an Olympian.
Yeah, she's a really good athlete.
She's a really good athlete.
Whatever you say and do, right?
If she's there is a lot of sevens players that have transitioned into 15s.
Yeah, yeah.
A notable one, Hugo Keenan.
Yeah, Justin Tipperick.
Yes.
Quagga Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these aren't small names.
Isn't Jasper
Visa?
Didn't he come from the sevens?
Might have done. I don't know.
No, it was who's the guy with the fucked up face with the big fucking honking nose?
Quagga Smith.
Quagga Smith, yes.
You already
said okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Tipperick also fits in the nose category, I guess.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, so the other thing I was going to say about it, I saw a thing about ticket sales. I think the Bristol game was I think it was 9,000 attended, and I think they asked people a survey, have you ever about half of the people from that 9,000 said they'd never been to a rugby game before, and
they just went because of her.
That's unless there's another reason, which I can't see, right? 5,000 people don't just show up on a random weekend, do they?
That's good news.
It's excellent news.
Yeah, you want to see just she's already paid her dividends. Like, just
She's paying a
sign her.
salary herself.
Yeah, and she's good. She had a good game. She had her first start.
Yeah. She could be bad at rugby and still be worth the money. That's how important that is. But I watched the highlights of that game, and she's really good at rugby, so we're fine.
She's just got the body type, the strength.
She's just strong as fuck.
Yeah,
like people
she's
just
a
hanging
strong
off
big
her.
girl, yeah.
There was people that took like 3 girls to bring her down. Like she's strong as fuck. You know?
She's got genetics on her side for sure.
Yeah.
In that department, and
Yeah.
she's good. That's just good rugby news. You want more eyes on rugby,
Yeah, not sevens.
not sevens, no, or league.
Yeah.
But that's what you want,
Yeah.
and it's perfect.
Yeah, and I think like the English Prem, the women's English Prem, is already like it was already doing pretty well. If you look at some of the results, they're pretty lopsided. But like in terms of attendance, and in the last couple of years, the final has actually been competitive. Like all of a sudden, it's looking like, I mean, English women's rugby is already doing fucking fine, right? Like they're winning. Like there's not even a team that comes close unless it's France or New Zealand on a good day. And it's almost like surprising they didn't win the World Cup the last time to me. And I think no one's going to touch them for a while now. But like English women's rugby is in a good place. And I don't like it when people are like, oh, but it detracts from X, Y, and Z. It's like more rugby is good rugby, right? More people watching rugby, playing rugby is good for rugby overall. This isn't like a zero-sum game. There isn't a limited amount of rugby. You know what I mean? Like we can share the rugby watching. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a good thing for me.
Also, half the population are women.
Really?
So like, wouldn't you want to have like a product for them too?
Yeah.
Like a product like just specifically, for them
Yeah.
to enjoy.
Yeah. So for those 5,000 people who went to watch that game, probably didn't go watch the Bristol Bears, did they? So the men's, or they did. I don't fucking know, but
Well,
it's good.
I think it's a good. And all the rugby stories we hear.
This is
and
a
all
nice
the
one.
bullshit. It's nice. Nice to
It
have
is a nice
like
one.
a happy ending
It
story.
is. Yeah, we've had 2 bad ones and 1 good one. So should we look at some results?
Yeah, let's go over the results. Let's not just like go over game by game by game, but let's like go like
We're just going to vibe the results.
let's vibe the results.
Okay. What were you vibing?
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
The Glasgow boys.
Glasgow. Actually did I watched most of this game.
Did you? And it was
It was a bit of a hammering for most of it. Like
I think we both called Glasgow to win this.
yeah, I did.
I know I did.
I only-
I ain't going against
No,
Glasgow
I
ever
think I
again.
did as well. Yeah, totally. And I think like the amount of times I wrote them off, I thought it would just be kind of salty for me to say anything but a win. Yeah, but you look at the scoreline and you think, oh, it was close, but Glasgow were pretty in control of that game for like 60, 70 minutes. Like they were dominant. Sione Tuipulotu had he is a scary bastard.
He's the main character of rugby this year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Antoine Dupont actually gracefully is stepping back to let Sione Tuipulotu be the main guy. Kind of cool of him.
It is the year. It's the year of him.
Yeah. Wait for the Six Nations. If he gets injured, I'll be genuinely upset.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
It would be brutal. Yeah. No, he's fucking class.
Glasgow they kind of, when you watch them play, they play a lot like Bristol.
Yeah, they do.
This like fast pace,
Yeah.
ball flying all over the place,
Yeah.
turnovers galore.
Yeah.
Like they had like fucking 10 penalties in this game. Like they were racking up the infractions,
Yeah.
but they just that high stakes, high reward rugby. And it's fun to watch. It's good rugby to watch.
It is. Yeah. It was good. Like, and that was the thing. I was watching it and it was
Very attractive rugby.
because it wasn't close for the first like 60 minutes. And sometimes you watch a game and it's just a fucking hammering and you're like, I can't be fucked. It didn't feel like that because Tuipulotu was so exciting to watch. Never mind the rest of the team were also class. Like they're just a really exciting team to watch.
I just hope Glasgow can keep him.
Yeah, but he's no, they're keeping him. Like if Glasgow weren't winning and he was good, I'd say something different. But Glasgow winning, Scotland are actually really good right now, and he's the main character of both of those things.
I'm gonna put Glasgow in the top 4 teams to win the Champions Cup this year.
Yeah, I love writing them off.
Are you
but
starting to be a Glasgow believer?
I'm not a fan, but not a believer.
A Glasgowian, whatever they call him.
A Glaswegian.
A Glaswegian. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I believe. I can't see them winning it, but definitely. Well, yeah, it's that or nothing, really, isn't it? I don't think I'll get. I see. My instinct is to write them off. Like, there's a little goblin
You
in my
have to
brain
believe.
going like, "Fuck them, they're gonna lose."
The Glasgow Warriors will win the Champions Cup this year.
I'm Welsh, man. You can't just do that to me. Like, there's not a thing in my blood that has belief, you know? Seeing is believing.
What happened to Sale, the Stormers? 40-0.
I don't know, man. These South African teams devaluing our competition by showing up and winning.
Games in South Africa, Sale Sharks get blanked.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. Do you think they sent the shit team?
After all the shit we've said about South African teams sending B teams to Europe, it's about time we put the shoe on the other foot. Actually, no, we have done that because Leinster send B teams to South Africa all the time, don't they? But it has backfired. I know, man. It's Sale as well. It's such a they're the most unpredictable team, and that still doesn't make me like them. You know, I just think, fuck you, get good. And then when they do win, I don't care. So, I don't know. That's my vibe.
I just feel bad looking at these other games. Exeter Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is just, like, what a fucking night and day team from last year to this year.
Well, they weren't good last year, were they?
They were really good last year. Remember how I was saying that they were going to be the top four?
Yeah.
I thought they were the team. I thought they were going to be the team to beat. And then this year, I was for sure convinced all year they were going to be the team to beat.
You bought into their rebuild, didn't you?
I did, because it looked really good. Their team's young.
They have
all the right pieces. Their team, they got these big boys.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the future of the Prem. This is not the future of the Prem.
Exeter Chiefs 17, Bordeaux 69.
69 them.
60. Okay, but Bordeaux could win the Champions Cup, right?
Easily.
Yeah, definitely. So like they're more Toulouse best team in Europe right now, I think. So Exeter having a shit season. Is it somewhere in the middle? Nah, Exeter are just shit though, aren't they? They just haven't got any money either. They just haven't got any money.
Well, I heard they're like looking at Tom Hooper from Australia. Rumors of that.
Oh, okay.
Gonna poach some big boy.
All right.
Big flanker there.
They do kind of need a bit of an X Factor guy, actually. Because, they've got a lot of young, exciting guys, but they just don't have an exciting foreign
I was just
signing.
so sold. I was like, man, they got these young guys.
Yeah.
They lost a bunch of guys. The salary cap was lowered.
Yeah.
And then they really invested in these young players, and I thought they performed really well last
year. Because they were
year.
performing well for a bit.
I only thought the sky was the limit for them.
Yeah. It's hard to take, isn't it? I like Exeter. Like, my auntie lives in Exeter. Half the Welsh squad's over there. So I want them to win. But
I think the most significant game in the weekend, Toulouse Sharks, is Antoine Dupont.
Actually, no, this was the most significant game of the weekend.
Antoine Dupont left. He left the Northern Hemisphere. He left the comfort of the Northern Hemisphere to go play in South Africa. Because he's gotten a lot of criticism for not playing outside of the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's not like he chooses that, though, is it? It's not like the coach goes, hey, do you want to go and play in the World Cup in Japan? He's like, not really.
No,
I'll stay home.
Finally went over there, and they kind of spanked the Sharks.
Yeah, this was most surprising game, wasn't it? Because, like, barring Etzebeth and who was the other guy? Is it Esterhuizen?
I think so.
That's pretty much a Springboks team.
They had like 2 injuries. There were like 2 significant injuries, but
Toulouse beat the Springboks is the headline, and did it pretty. They did it in a way which showed that they're an all-court team, right? Because when you think of Toulouse, you just think clinical attack, but they defended fucking very well. They were so physical, and they were smothered the Sharks.
Toulouse and Bordeaux have some incredible defense.
They do, they do. And that's what people talk about when they talk about Leinster. Like, Leinster's defense is actually, people don't talk about it, but it's really good. And it's like, if you're going to be the best team, you can't have a bad thing. Everything you do needs to be good, right? And Toulouse's defense was unreal, man. Yeah, to beat Sharks in South Africa when they're basically 2 players away from a Springboks side as well, that's a big win. I can't see anyone beating. I think Toulouse win the Champions Cup like comfortably.
I think there's 4 teams
that
are going to come down to it, because knockout stage games, they're different.
They are different.
So you can be a dominant team, and then when it comes to knockout game, or a championship game, in my eyes, almost everyone's equal at that point.
So you're thinking Glasgow, Leinster, Bordeaux, and Toulouse. Is that possible? Because of the groups? I think it is.
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to have a look.
They all get in, don't they?
They're all there now. Well, yeah, I think Ulster are going to get into the knockouts with 1 win.
Because the thing about, there's the round next weekend, I'm pretty sure, but the round, the group stage is pretty much over with now.
It is.
So
It's decided, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much just everyone decided.
It's home and aways now,
I
isn't
think
it?
there's only a handful of teams that are fighting for a spot, but
Yeah.
like next week's games are going to be like not very. There's going to be a lot of throwing in the kids
Yeah.
into a lot of games.
Yeah, there is. And
That's
yeah,
the only sad thing about this tournament.
it is.
Munster were able to kill the Saracens.
I was actually surprised by that one.
I was too. I thought they were going to lose this one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, good for them. Yeah,
Good.
they've just got some Champions Cup in their blood, don't they, the Munsters? They just know how to do.
Tyburn just like came out.
Yeah, man of the match.
He just came out like he just went into Super Saiyan mode.
He did.
Yeah, he was all over the fucking place in that.
It was a bit of the battle of the locks, wasn't it? Because like there was a big kind of rivalry. It was a big like exciting playoff between Itoje and Tyburn. I thought like
It would have been awesome to be in Thomond Park that day.
yeah, big
Because Saracens
crowd.
are like the bad guys of rugby.
Yeah, they are.
They're like the villains, right?
Yeah, they're
So,
like England refined.
Yeah, and you come over there and then you lose, you beat them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that must have felt
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good
yeah.
for the Munster fans.
Yeah, but that was a good night out, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a good game to go to.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know what else to say about that. I'm surprised. It wasn't like a hammering either. Like, it was a pretty close game. But Saracens, like, they never fail to surprise me. Like, every time I think it's their time to fuck off, they're just like, hey, look who's here.
No.
Saracens in a Champions Cup final. But not this year.
It's like the movie where like the camera's like zooming into this like grave,
Yeah.
and then the hand just pops
Yeah.
out of the dirt.
It's the Saracens.
It's the fucking Saracens.
You know that movie It Follows? It's the Saracens. Like, you're trying to escape and have sex with people, so It Follows leaves you alone. But the Saracens just won't leave you alone.
I'm sorry, what is this movie?
What the fuck? You don't know the movie It Follows?
No.
It's a horror movie where this like spooky ghost monster just follows you until it catches you and kills you. And the only way to get it to stop following you is to have sex with someone, and it follows them. But if it gets them, it comes back for you, and then it follows whoever. And then if it gets you, it gets whoever you had sex with. It's a really good. It's actually like a well-acclaimed horror film.
How you're describing it, I
Yeah.
have no doubt that's how the guy that pitched the movie described it. And then the producers must have gave it an automatic green light.
Yeah. There's
So,
three
like,
guys
what?
railing lines of coke off a table, going, "Yeah, fucking yes,
Yes.
fuck what sex, fuck
And you
yeah,
gotta like bang the person, but then the ghost follows that person you bang.
yeah."
Green light. How much money do you need? Let me write this check.
Here's my checkbook. I'll give you 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck. That's a great.
Anyway, it's Saracens that It
Hold
Follows.
on.
Yeah.
It follows.
You don't like
Watch.
horror films?
I love horror movies.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
Right.
watching horror movies.
All right.
I actually don't know anyone that likes horror movies. I always want to go see them. No one wants to go watch
No,
them.
I'm not a horror film guy.
You get spooked
I
out.
watched this and it fucked me up. I had a nightmare. I had a nightmare about it because it was that scary.
You're having like your dream, your like all-time dream sex dream. You're like, no, I can't do it.
My
Because I
sleep
don't wanna get
paralysis dream
Followed.
is the It Follows demon in a Saracens kit. It stares at me.
Stade Francais beat Northampton Saints.
Northampton fucking let down.
Let down
Shit,
boys.
I think the new logo fucked them up.
Leicester pumped Ulster. Just pumped them. 38-10.
Yeah, Ulster a bit crap this season as well, aren't they?
Man, I watched the highlights of this game.
Yeah.
Their fucking defense sucks.
I know, they give up, don't they? They totally give up.
Like their defense fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Ulster, their team is like compiled of like, it's like they have like a group of really good players, and then their other half of their team is like shit, like really bad, and they're just holding them back.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it feels like. There's just like a level because they got some good like what was it Tamuni? Yeah, he's a really fucking good player. He had a really good play there too in that game. But like it seems like there's just like a mix mash of really good and really shit on one team.
I know what you mean. And sidebar, I'm hearing a lot of non-Leinster Irish fans starting to get fed up with
They want
the lack of distribution of resources from the
they want a
IRFU.
star. They want a Geordie. They want a RG Snyman.
Yeah, I heard a rumor about someone going to Munster. Someone big
From Ulster
from South Africa.
going to Munster.
Someone big. Wish I could remember now.
Why would you even bring it up?
You keep talking. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out.
Did I hear anything about that? You
keep
kind of
talking.
bringing something up to me.
Yeah, right. You're getting a whisper of a thought, aren't you? Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I
And
can't remember.
Big.
It's massive. It's the biggest rugby news of the week.
Is it like Ox and Shay going?
Might be. Could be. Could be. Yeah. We have to come back to that because it's I've fucking forgotten, and there's I can't
Cass
delay
beat the
any longer.
Bulls 2 on the weekend, but the Bulls, they didn't bring the boys up.
No one beats Cast at home. You know this. I know
Can't beat
this.
Cass at
Can't. It's not possible.
Harlequins lost to Toulon.
A bit sad about that. I wanted to.
Harlequins fucking.
I know they're kind
What
of shit in the bed.
They're
Aren't
like
they?
Ulster this year.
Yeah, they're kind of shit in the bed.
They're like the Ulster of the Prem.
The Prem has let me down because like there was so much like excitement and competitive games and hope last year, and all of a sudden like just all these English teams who were good, like Northampton are the biggest. Like I was so on the Northampton hype train last year. You know, really exciting 9 and 10 combo, playing a really nice brand of rugby. Then they changed their logo to a picture that was made on fucking paint, and now this shit. And it's kind of the same for Harlequins.
Yeah, it's kind of a letdown this year.
Yeah.
It's just like this odd maybe it's because Bath they're doing really well and they're just like the most boring team ever.
Everyone's forgotten
and it's
they
just
exist.
destroying the Prem. Like no one gives a fuck now.
Yeah.
Like Bath.
Yeah, a little bit.
I just think the Prem in general this year is the quality's down.
It is down.
Like Benetton, if it wasn't like they had a shitty call at the end, they could have won. They could have beat Bristol this weekend.
Yeah, they could have, because
Mm-hmm.
that was it was an off the ball tackle, like obstruction. No, not it was just obstruction.
Yeah.
He ran his line. He didn't.
Very controversial call.
He ran his line.
Controversial.
Yeah.
And that's like
And that was
Bristol's was it? Are they in second? Are they in first in the Prem?
second, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And Benetton bringing it to them
Yeah.
at home, almost won.
But you got to remember, Bristol are 6th in their group in the Champions Cup, and Benetton are 4th. So it's kind of like, who cares? Who cares? Not me.
What did you think about that Leinster La Rochelle game?
I think I told you this before we started recording. My main takeaway, and it's going to sound anti-La Rochelle and anti-Leinster, which is very fucking on brand for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that's not going to worry Bordeaux. That's not going to worry Toulouse. You know, yeah, it was actually a really good game. Like it was tight, really competitive. Defense from both teams was excellent. I just thought neither team was clinical in attack like Bordeaux and Toulouse are. Right, like Toulouse, I could see them beating.
That's where Bordeaux and Toulouse. That's where they have the edge.
Yeah,
They can defend all day,
but they can score tries.
but they can score tries
in those close
And
games.
Leinster and La Rochelle are lacking that flair.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought this was actually a bad game for my boy
Sam Prendergast.
Sam Prendergast. This is a point where there was a good big statement game here,
It was, yeah.
and he played really deep, almost like he was afraid.
It's almost
He was
like he's
sliding
only
off-
played a few professional games of
Sliding
rugby.
off, I think his defense, his physicality is going to be his undoing.
Mate, if I wish. In fact, we did record it. We recorded you saying this. I'm going to show you one of the episodes from like 2 weeks ago where you're like, he's flawless. He's literally Superman. No one's ever going to beat him at anything ever
I
again.
never said that.
And like Jack Crowley's a dirty piece of shit, and how dare he put an Irish jersey
I
on?
definitely didn't say that.
So
Yeah, that's going to hold him up.
yeah, of course it is. He's a child.
And I have mentioned his tackling before.
All I'm saying is don't get on the hype train because he could be a really good rugby player if people don't put too much pressure on him.
He's already a really good rugby player.
Here we go.
But this was a big game for him to really put
Yeah.
that statement in, and
Yeah.
he didn't do it this game.
I heard a lot of things, more about what people said than what I saw. I heard that Geordie Barrett didn't have the best game. I heard that Frawley isn't fast enough to make covering tackles.
Oh yeah, Frawley when he got subbed on.
Yeah. And I just heard a lot of things about... maybe I didn't notice it as much, but I just thought like maybe they're kind of finding reasons to be not happy about what was actually a win, right? Leinster won, and everyone's talking like they lost the game. But I think it's because their expectations are so high, and they should be.
They don't want dirty wins for Leinster.
No.
Leinster fans want they want all black wins.
You have the perfect team, so you expect perfect wins, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. You should have high expectations. But it feels like a loss somehow. And I think it feels like a loss because I'm sitting here as a neutral going, that Toulouse will beat you.
I think they're taking it as a loss because they're looking at Bordeaux and Toulouse.
Yes,
And they're
exactly.
comparing this game
Yeah.
to what's going to happen when they play those two teams.
Yeah.
Right? If they're going to struggle and battle this hard with La Rochelle,
Yeah.
but these two teams hate each other. These two teams are
they
a
got
rival.
history, haven't they?
Yeah.
They got history.
So both teams are up for this.
Yeah, they were. They were. And
You're
it
talking
felt
about
like that.
two really good teams.
Yeah, like I said, it was actually a really good game. Like, really, really tight game. Like, so just it feels like Leinster fans suddenly feel like New Zealand fans, right? They'll talk themselves down in a win, but they'll talk themselves up in a hammering against the Dragons when obviously they're going to win. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're never happy, but they love a fucking beatdown. And that's a good sign, actually, because it means that your expectations of your team are sky fucking high. Like, your standards are through the roof. That's a really good sign of, like, you're the best of the best, you know?
Well, they got the money. They got the players. There's just high expectations there.
Right.
There has to be.
That's
there
right.
has to be.
There's no excuse for losing anymore,
there's
right?
just a lot of pressure on them. If you're going to be, like, when the image of you guys are getting favored by the Irish Rugby Union.
Yeah.
And you got all the players, you got the stars. Like, you better be producing.
And the rest of Ireland is looking at you going, you greedy bastards.
Yeah.
Like,
So you got to, if you're gonna have everything, you got to use it.
Totally.
So they're expecting the best, and then that's why this game kind of feels like maybe a loss, even though it's a win. It's because they should have won that game, won it.
Yep.
And then looking forward to playing Toulouse and Bordeaux. Like, bring it on.
Yeah.
We're right there with you.
Yeah. And for the record, I do think Leinster, Toulouse, Leinster, Bordeaux be a hell of a game, be a close game. But I just see Toulouse scoring an extra try because they can do that, at the minute.
Honestly, Toulouse and Bordeaux and Leinster, all three of those teams can beat each other on the day.
They could. I'm more thinking
In
about
my
a
eyes,
64. They play each other 10 times. It's like 6-4 in Toulouse's favour. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking they beat him. I just think if I was a Toulouse fan, I would be thinking that's not a Leinster I'm super worried about, I think we can beat them. That's what I'd be thinking if I was a Toulouse guy. Maybe not. I don't know. The thing is about Bordeaux is they're not as storied as Toulouse, right? Toulouse,
it's because Toulouse have Antoine Dupont.
Yeah, but not only that, they've won the Champions Cup several times.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they know how to win a Champions Cup final a lot more than Bordeaux do, So I think, you're right. Like, Toulouse also have, like, probably the best squad in rugby, just above Leinster, actually. They've got, like, the French national team and some and Blair Kinghorn and Willis.
They just got everyone.
They do. They just got everyone, yeah. That's what I think.
Well, I think we talked about everything we need to talk about today.
Do you want to predict things?
Do you want to predict things?
Real quick.
We can predict things.
You want to predict things?
Yeah, for next weekend.
Spooky things.
Ulster Exeter Chiefs.
Oh.
Friday.
The battle of the
There you go.
bastards.
Who do you think's going to win this one?
It's more about who I want to win this one, I think because all the Welsh guys in the Exeter squad and because I just want Exeter to be good again, I'm just going to say Exeter.
I think Ulster will win this game.
I do actually think Ulster will win it. Yeah.
Stade Francais goes to South Africa to the Bulls. Bulls will win this one.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, Bulls win that.
Munster go to Northampton. Ooh.
Oh, do you know what? If you'd asked me 6 months ago, Northampton every time. Ask me now, Munster.
This is going to be a tough game.
They got Champions Cup in the blood.
I'm going to call Munster too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with them, yeah.
The team without a fucking coach is going to go to the champions of the Gallagher Prem and beat them, yeah.
Claremont, Bristol.
I'm going to say Bristol. I think they do bounce back.
You also have to look. We have to look at the standings
Not
too.
that they lost.
Right?
I was actually. Yeah, you mean the Champions Cup table?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because Claremont, Bristol, 5th and 6th. So they don't give a shit. This is a fun game.
Mm-hmm. This is Claremont at home. I'm going to say Claremont.
Actually, now you've said that. I didn't know it was at home. Yeah, I say Claremont as well. French teams hate losing at home.
La Rochelle going to Benetton.
La Rochelle.
I'm going to say Benetton.
Okay.
I don't know if La Rochelle is going to put up a full squad.
Yeah, but if La Rochelle win, they could potentially leapfrog Leinster to get a home knockout game. So they have a good reason to win this game.
I'm going to still say Benetton.
I don't know why. on my Google thing right now, you know when the shields of the club, Benetton's shield hasn't even got a picture. That's how little Google gives a shit about Benetton. So yeah, it's La Rochelle.
Bath are going to Leinster. Rest in peace.
It's going to be Leinster, but Bath should be they're not going to win.
No.
But they should, like, that's what I'm saying. The English Prem, like, it's kind of fallen in its grace a bit. They should expect to put on a good show there. But yeah, Leinster win that game.
Hands down, they win.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a good game. Glasgow going to the Stoop, playing the Harlequins.
That's like a battle of... They both play very similar styles of rugby, actually. I like that.
I'm going to give Glasgow the nod for this one.
I think... Didn't Glasgow knock Harlequins out last year? I think they did.
I can't remember.
I think they did. But yeah, I'm going to say Glasgow as well.
Yep. Stormers going off to Racing 92. I think Stormers are going to...
Stormers.
No, I'm going to say Racing 92 in this one. I think Stormers are going to pull up a little
I'm going to send a B
B-boy
team.
squad, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Sunday, Sharks, same thing, going to Bordeaux. They're not going to send a full squad.
Even if they did, I'd still say Bordeaux.
I would love to see a full squad of
Yeah, the
this game.
Springboks against Bordeaux.
Yeah, I'd really like to
that'd be
see
cool.
this,
No.
but I don't think so.
Yeah.
We already know this one. Cast is playing away at Saracens, so automatically Saracens are going to win this game.
Congratulations, Saracens, for playing an away French team and winning.
Leicester versus Toulouse. Now, I think Leicester might actually go for this game.
I think they'll go for it. To be fair to Leicester, win or lose, they don't ever not put up a fight, right?
I think Michael Cheika will want to see his boys play against the top.
He wants to see that dog now.
I can see this being the game of the weekend.
I think his pre-game speech is going to have a lot of tiger metaphor in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Eye of the Tiger's going to be playing in the background. He's going to be shadow boxing. Then he looks at the boys and goes, "You have to be like tigers out there today." But I think Toulouse are going to win.
And the gas station loaf of bread game of the weekend, Sale versus Toulon.
It's too long. It's too long.
Toulon with this game. This is going to be
too long.
This is the most unexciting game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the loaves of bread they sell. It's like Wonder Bread. It's like fucking like, you know, it could last in the shop for a month.
Even if you have the South African Sharks in the same league as the Sale Sharks, even their name, it sounds, you literally sound like a discount version. Yeah. You are the Sale Sharks.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get a better name, guys.
Yeah.
The Sale Submarines.
That will be the round. That'll be the last round of the Champions Cup.
Yeah, please watch It Follows. Let us know what you think and how much does it mirror Saracens' progress as a rugby team.
This episode has been sponsored by It Follows.
The movie.
To
Returning
bang
to
or not to
cinemas.
bang.
Well, no, they don't know that when it happens. So you trick people.
So does the person that's passing it on know?
They
Why
do.
are we even talking
They
about
do. That's the opening scene. They know and they pass it to you.
this? Okay.
All
All right,
bye.
friends. Have a good one. Bye.
See ya.